UFC 319, these are my official picks and predictions, but before we get into this video, guys, I just wanted to give you guys a big thank you. As of now, we have today hit over 100 subscribers on this channel. It means so much to me. I appreciate all the love and support from you guys and all the people that have been supporting this channel since I've been posting these videos. I had to bang this video out quickly for you guys because I will not be here on Friday. I will be gone for the whole weekend. I'll be away in Connecticut. So I wanted to try to get this video out to you guys as soon as possible so there were no delays or, I didn't have to do anything else. So just wanted to get this out of the way, and with the fact that we just hit over 100 subs. But without further ado, I'm now going to get into the first fight opener on this card. Karine Silva versus JJ. I am picking Karine Silva to win this fight. I think the Brazilian is the better fighter in this matchup, and I do think that she will come out on top, probably via decision. If you want to take a confident pick, I would say the over 2.5 I think is a good call for this fight. But I'm not going to stick around with this one. Short, sweet, and simple. On to the next one. Brian Battle versus Nursultan Rizziboyev. Man, I've been tossing and turning with this fight. This is another tough one, I feel like. Brian Battle sitting at a minus 192 right now, minus 170, somewhere around that range. Nursultan Rizziboyev as a underdog, plus 150, plus 140 range, somewhere around there. I like Nursultan Rizziboyev to win this fight. I think he does win. I think Brian Battle is a weight bully. I think he only does good when he's at when people have those he has those what's the word I'm looking for? Like size advantage almost. I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Rizziboyev. I think Rizziboyev will hurt him a couple times. I don't know if it's enough to put him away. But I'm kind of leaning towards a Rizziboyev decision. I definitely see him coming out on top, though. And I do like him as an underdog to win this fight. And I think he wins 100%. I really do think he wins. So moving on to the next fight. Edson Barboza versus Klaus. I'm picking Edson Barboza to win this fight. I think Edson Barboza back up at lightweight is just a different specimen. I think that's where he fights at his best. I don't like him dropping weight, or moving up. I don't think he's good at either or. To me, Edson Barboza at lightweight, like I said, is just peak to me. I feel like we're due for a peak Edson Barboza performance, and I think he's going to look good. I think even at 30 or 40 years old, believe he's 39 now. At 39 years old, he will look good, and I think he's going to come out on top this weekend in Chicago. So, Edson Barboza to win this fight. Definitely see him picking Klaus apart. Probably same thing. Decision could be a later on finish, but I'm leaving a decision for Barboza. So that is my pick for this fight. Moving forward, Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. Oh, man. I'm picking Chase Hooper to win this fight. I think he wins via submission. Alex Hernandez shoots a lot with his head on the side, and I think that Chase Hooper could probably catch him with like a guillotine or something on the side. So that's what makes sense to me. I don't think that Alexander Hernandez has anything to offer Chase Hooper in terms of the grappling department. And I think Chase Hooper is a confident pick. I really do. I would definitely say he's a lock. He should win this fight, whether it's a decision or submission. They're both coming off wins. Like I said, Alex Hernandez is more of like a pressure fighter. Chase Hooper is going to be better, I feel, in those grappling exchanges, though, and I feel like that's what's going to win him the fight. So Chase Hooper to win this fight, that is my official prediction for this fight. Moving forward, on to Jessica Andrade and Lupe Godinez. Oh, man. I don't know. Jessica Andrade has been really, really weird. This is another weird one. Jessica Andrade has been really, really weird recently. It's obviously coming off a loss, but I am going to be leaning towards Lupe. I think Lupe wins this fight, guys. I really do. I think she'll probably win a decision. I don't know if she's going to finish Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade is very tough and durable, hard to put away. I think you could take the over 2.5 for this fight. It seems like it makes the most sense to me. But my official pick for this is going to be Lupe to win, and I think she wins on the judges' scorecard. So Lupe to win, guys. That is my pick. Moving on to the next fight, Gerald Meerschaert and Michelle. I think Gerald Meerschaert is going to win this fight. I really do. I think that Gerald Mearshart is going to be better in those grappling exchanges. I mean, we saw Michelle get freaking submitted by Kevin Holland. Not to say that Kevin Holland is a bum on the ground, but I mean, I think Gerald Mearshart is levels above Kevin Holland in terms of the grappling. I mean, that's where he's known, that's where he thrives, and that's where he works his best. And I don't think that Michelle has anything to offer on the ground for Gerald Mearshart. I really don't. I think Gerald Mearshart is going to win via arm triangle. That's what makes the most sense to me. I've been going a little back and forth with this, like how I thought he was going to win, or, to me, I think submission makes the most sense. I don't think this is going to go to a decision. I think that he's going to be a fish out of water on the ground as soon as Gerald Mearshart gets him down, and I think he is going to sub him up. So that is my prediction for this, and I think Gerald Mearshart does win this fight. I think the vet gets it done. This is another really iffy one that I've advised people to stay away from. I'm picking Diego Ferreira to win just because Bobby Green has looked like absolute dog shit in his past couple fights. No, it's not even a question. Like I said, I wouldn't touch this one. This is another one of the weird ones on the card that I would, advise people to stay away from. Bobby Green is just shit, honestly, at this point, and he hasn't looked good in a very, very long time. His last win was against Jim Miller, I'm pretty sure, and then before that it was Tony Ferguson, both guys that are way past their primes. So I think Diego Ferreira has definitely looked better, though. Like I said, even though they're both coming off losses, they've both been losing. But Diego Ferreira's just looked a lot better than Bobby Green. Bobby Green's just been a punching bag for a lot of these UFC prospects, and they're just using him as a highlight reel knockout, pretty much, just to add highlights for the card. But Diego Ferreira, that is my pick for this card, but I'd advise people to stay away from this fight. It's one of the weird ones. Moving forward, this is a fight that I'm actually very, very excited for. Tim Elliott versus Kai Scara. I think Kai Scara is going to put on a vintage performance, and I think that he's going to beat the shit out of Tim Elliott. Now, don't get me wrong, we've seen Tim Elliott have his moments. One of the few people to have Demetrius Johnson in trouble, almost submitted him. Tim Elliott is no joke on the ground, but I think that Kai Scara is going to be able to defend the takedowns. Tim Elliott isn't like a Pantoja to where he's going to dog walk him, take him down. I don't see it. I think Kai Scara is going to win this fight, and I could see him winning this fight by a KO of some sort. I really do. I think he put Tim Elliott away. But I am leaning a decision, same thing, maybe by decision, I would say, but oh man, I don't know. This is a weird one because Tim Elliott is pretty durable too. That's the only reason. But you know what? I think I'll take a Scara to win by knockout. I think he does knock out Tim Elliott. But Tim Elliott is, like I said, if he doesn't knock him out, I wouldn't be surprised. Tim Elliott is very, very durable and he's very tough to put away. But my official pick is going to be Kai Scara on the money line. I like him and I think he's a very, very good pick for this card. Moving forward, this is another one that I have been saying is a tough fight to call. It's a weird fucking matchup. It really is. This is another one I've been really, really going back and forth with. Oh, man. Fuck, man. I guess I'm going to have to do this pick right now. Guys, I'm picking Michael Venom Page to win this fight. I think he does it. I think he wins with his weird, awkward stance. I think it gets it done for him. The MVP is a monster on the feet to deal with in terms of how weird it is to read his striking. I mean, we saw Ian Gary turn into a wrestler against him, and Ian Gary is one of the best strikers in the welterweight division. And then we saw him absolutely destroy Shara Bullet, and Shara, like I said, is supposed to be the upcoming prospect. Then we saw MVP, outclass him and show him that there's levels to the sport. I think MVP is going to win. Even though Jared Cannonier might have the wrestling in his back pocket, I think that MVP striking, and I think that his weird, awkward stance and him throwing those jabs down the middle and those 1-2s down the middle, I think it's going to cause Jared Cannonier some problems. And I could definitely see MVP dropping Jared Cannonier. I could definitely see it happening 100%. But I think MVP is going to win by decision, though. I think MVP definitely wins by decision if I had to pick a method for him to win. I don't know if he's knocking out Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier, even though he's 40 years old, the killer gorilla is still very, very tough, very, very durable. So MVP to win by decision, that is my pick. This fight right here, I think, is in contention for a fight of the night. Geoff Neal versus Carlos Prates. I'm picking Prates to win this fight. I think it's going to be a brawl. I think this is going to be hellfire coming from both sides. And someone is definitely going to end up being knocked out, and I think it's going to be Geoff Neal. Prates to win by knockout, I think, is the best option for this fight. I think that's what happens more than likely, and I think he puts him away within the later rounds. I would say like middle of second, early third round, somewhere around there. But I think Prates does win this fight, and I think he takes Neal's head off and knocks him out unconscious. I would definitely stay away from any other props, like any of the overs or unders. It could go a little bit longer than I'm expecting, so I do think Prates to win by knockout is probably what's going to happen. Now, Prates just has so much power behind his hands. Neal's got really, really good boxing, but I'm taking Prates just because his boxing is very, very good too, and he's got the power too. Prates' Muay Thai is just on a different level, in my opinion. But I do think Prates does win this fight, and I think he is a confident pick. So Prates do win this fight via KO, I think is a good pick. Moving on, and this is another, like I said, one of those weird ones, guys. I originally was on Aaron Pico, but I just can't do it, guys. I can't bet against Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy is a proven UFC vet. 35 years old, Lerone Murphy has beaten some of the best guys that we have in the featherweight division. Lerone Murphy has looked dominant. He's looked good. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dan Ige dropped him with that one counter. Believe it was a left hook or right hook. But other than that, Lerone Murphy has elite striking, very, very fast, very, very technical. Aaron Pico, is a really, really great boxer, but he's unproven. This guy's been getting knocked out by guys in Bellator. He doesn't have any legitimate wins, in my opinion. And him making his UFC debut against undefeated Lerone Murphy, I don't know, man. I like Lerone Murphy to win this fight. I actually think Lerone Murphy is a confident pick, I would say. Lerone Murphy is definitely being slept on by a lot of people, and I do think Lerone Murphy is going to win. I think he's going to win by decision. Lerone Murphy, like I said, is just technically better, in my opinion. Pico's going to want to turn into a brawl, and he's going to try to take Lerone Murphy's head off. But I just think Murphy's going to be too quick, too fast, and too agile, and I think he is going to pick him apart. So Lerone Murphy to win, and I think he does win by decision. Moving on to the main event, and guys, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment. It's always good to get feedback from you guys. So let me know what you guys think. But without further ado, the main event. Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. I'm picking Khamzat Chimaev to beat Dricus Du Plessis. And guys, I don't think he's just going to beat him. I think he's going to run through him. I think he's going to fucking destroy him. I don't even think this fight's going to be close. Everyone is saying that this fight is a 50-50 fight. You guys saw in my last previous video the advantages that Khamzat is going to have. I don't think that Dricus has anything to offer Khamzat Chimaev on the ground. I think he's going to run over him and bulldoze him. I can't pick Du Plessis. And don't get me wrong, I picked Du Plessis in his last 3 or 4 fights. I know how good Du Plessis is. He's a great fighter. I actually do like Du Plessis. I enjoy watching him. Very, very weird, awkward. Same thing. Very, very weird, awkward, unorthodox style. And it works for most fighters. It does work against a lot of fighters in the UFC, and it's worked out good for him. But I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to expose it and break him down. I think he's going to take him down very, very easily. Expect Khamzat to shoot very quickly, too. It's going to be striking into a takedown. I think he's going to shoot a takedown within the first 20 to 30 seconds, and he's going to take him down very, very easily, and I don't think he's going to struggle. And with Sam Calavina and Khamzat's conditioning coach, we saw what how good TJ with TJ Dillashaw's conditioning, how good he looked. That and TJ never ever gassed out. So imagine Khamzat with someone like Merab cardio of some sort like that. I mean, he would just be unstoppable. But the fight's not even going to go that long. I think the fight is going to end within the first round. I think he could either TKO him on the ground almost, gives up his back, TKO him on the ground, or he's going to fucking strangle Dricus. And I'm leaning towards him strangling Dricus. I think he's going to sub him up, and I think he's going to do it very, very easily. And like I said, Dricus to me doesn't have anything to offer on the ground. And even if he does survive, I think he'll get him in the second round too. With the possibility of him surviving the first round, very possibly gets him in the second round too. And if it does go to decision, I think Hamza is going to look the best he's ever looked. I think his cardio is going to look peak. All these people are saying, oh, Dricus wins if it goes to distance. I don't even think that's true either. I don't. I think with Hamza's team and who he has around him and the people that he's training with now and having Sam Calvino as his conditioning coach, I think this is a very, very easy fight for him, and I think he does it, and I think he makes it look easier than the Whitaker fight. Whitaker arguably has better takedown defense than Dricus as well. Again, I think Dricus is going to get taken down. He's going to have Hamza all over him, and he's going to, everyone's jaws are going to drop, including his, and he's going to be like, "Wow, this guy is the real fucking deal." I promise you guys on Saturday, you guys are going to be sitting there saying, "Oh man, like Hamza is the real fucking deal," which he always has been. People have just been sleeping on him, saying, the same thing, that he's overrated, that the cardio situation. Again, I don't think that's going to happen here. I think this is the best version we are ever going to see of Hamza Chimaev. And I think luckily I was able to grab him at a minus 166, which is a blessing. Because I feel like after this fight, what is he sitting around? Like minus 200, somewhere around that range. I would grab that immediately as soon as you can, because you will never see odds like that again for Hamza Chimaev. I think after this fight, he could be a 3-1 or 4-1 favorite, I think, after this fight. He is going to dominate Dricus, and I think he's going to do it in the first round. Guys, if you like this video, please let me know. Like I said, Hamza to win. I think he's the lock of the card, my most confident pick. But like I said, guys, if you like this video, please, subscribe, like it, comment. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are, and I will see you guys on the next video. Goodbye, everyone.